Welcome to Crocodile MTG, your home of competitive, constructed play in all Magic the Gathering formats. Today's video was brought to you by all our wonderful sponsors, affiliates, and patrons. Thank you all for supporting the Crocodile MTG channel, and we hope you enjoy today's video. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Jordan with Crocodile MTG here, bringing you another Magic the Gathering video. Today we're actually going to be doing something new and completely different. We're actually going to be taking a dive into EDH, also known as Commander, also known as CEDH, also known as Elder Dragon Highlander, which, you know, is what the EDH stands for. Thank you all so much for being here. We just wanted to try something new, kind of reach a different audience for a couple of our videos and see if people enjoy it and see if people are in need of more Commander and competitive gameplay. Now that being said, we actually have a fun deck we are going to be playing today. We are going to be playing in a 4-person player versus player match, and we are going to be playing a deck with our commander being Norin the Wary. Now I do want to let everyone know this is an absolute troll deck. This is a deck I built in college to make my friends hate themselves. This is something that absolutely boggles everyone's minds. It breaks all the rules in Magic and reaches cornerstones of the multi-universe that a lot of people have not even touched. That being said, it's mainly a control deck that's meant to cause chaos all over the place. So we have cards like Teferi's Puzzle Box that at the beginning of each player's draw step, they have to put, after they draw one card, they count the number of cards in hand, they have to shove it on the bottom of their library and draw a completely new hand equal to the number of cards they just put on the bottom. That makes it so your opponents basically can't even keep a stable hand and like plan out their turns, because every turn ends up being different. It's playing other things like Pandemonium. So whenever a creature enters the battlefield, that creature's controller may have it deal damage equal to its power to any other target. So it can be another creature, it can be a player. Basically, everyone's throwing around a bunch of damage. Everyone's just doing crazy, bizarre things. We're playing cards like Mana Flare to ramp everyone's mana up. We're playing cards like Possibility Storm, so whenever there's a spell cast, you have to exile cards from the top of your library to exile a card that shares the same type as the card you originally cast. And then you put all exiled cards and the cards you cast on the bottom of your library in a random order, and you cast the revealed card that had the same type as the initial card cast. That's a pretty confusing card for a lot of people that haven't been playing Magic a lot. For those of you playing Commander quite a bit, I'm sure you've seen this from time to time. It's a fun one. We also have cards like World Seizing as kind of our win condition. So untap target permanent and gain control of it until end of turn. It gains haste. If it's a creature, even if it's like a planeswalker you're taking, still gains haste, which is kind of funny. We're also playing things like Immortal Sun to stop a bunch of planeswalkers. We're playing draw effects like Howling Mind, Immortal Sun, and I thought there's another one floating around here that helps us draw cards at the beginning of each turn. Kind of world effects that also can like slow people down, or kind of like some of them are friendly effects, others are chaotic effects. So we have cards like Smoke, where players can't untap more than one creature per turn. We have Vandal Blast to blow up all artifacts, which are typical to see in EDH. But then we also have things like Thieves Auction. You exile all non-token permanents, starting with you. Each player chooses one of those exiled cards and puts it on the battlefield. And then you just keep repeating this process until all the cards have been chosen. We have cards like Star of Extinction that just completely board wipe things. I think we also have Blasphemous Act in here. We have Insurrection as well. That's one of our win conditions as well. Basically, once your opponent starts playing a bunch of creatures, you gain control of all of them and smack everyone in the face for a bunch. But we're also running cards that people absolutely hate. But, it's EDH. I like to have fun. I am perfectly fine with. And that's something everyone, if you're playing against me, you're going to have to get used to. I don't mind my lands being blown up. So we're playing cards like Jackal Hops and Decree of Annihilation. Decree exiles all artifacts, creatures, lands from the battlefield, all cards in all graveyards, and all cards in hands. This completely annihilates everything except enchantments and planeswalkers. So if you don't have an enchantment or a planeswalker on the battlefield, everything else is pretty much gone. We have Obliterate, which destroy all artifacts, creatures, lands. They cannot be regenerated. You also can't counter Obliterate. And then we have Jackalhops, like I said, destroy all creatures, lands, and artifacts. So your enchantments survive, and your you still have a hand and everything. Decree is absolutely nuts, but that's 10 mana. So being that these are all chaotic, really expensive cards, we have to ramp up to them. So we have a lot of cards to help us ramp. We're actually playing a Mana Crypt. We have a Mox Amber as well. This is good with Norin because you can basically play Mox Amber on 0, play Norin for 1, and then you have an extra red mana pretty much every turn 1. We're playing cards like Meekstone to slow our opponent down, and Smoke, like I said before. We're playing world effects like Impact Tremors and Perforos. So whenever a creature enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then Perforos is dealt 2 damage. So that's one way we can get around things. We're also playing cards like Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon to completely destroy our opponent's non-basic lands, turn them into mountains. We're playing cards like Stormwrath as well. This is a card that we have, I think, Stormwrath. We also have in our 5 drops here, we have Hour of Devastation. Basically ways that you can deal a lot of damage early to every creature on the battlefield and all planeswalkers. So just a way to kind of reset the board, slow your opponents down again, and then back to the mana ramp. We have things like Grim Monolith, Fire Diamond, Arcane Signet, etc., etc. So that's a general overview of the deck. I'm not going to go through every single card. Basically, your goal is just to completely wipe the board a bunch of times, play Norn on turn 1. Norn, by the way, since I didn't go over Norn, Norn is a creature. It's a human warrior. It's legendary. Obviously, it's a commander. Whenever a player casts a spell or a creature attacks, exile Norin the Wary, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. And then its flavored text is, I have a bad feeling about this. So Norn essentially comes down on 1 and blinks every time anyone casts a spell or attacks or anything. So that's actually pretty fun. So being that that's Norn's ability, that's where we're taking advantage of, playing cards like Confusion of the Ranks, Perforos, and Impact Tremors. So whenever a creature enters the battlefield, something happens. And that's a really good ability to pair with Norin since it's constantly blinking in and out pretty much every single turn. There are only a few ways to kill Norin the Wary. It has to be a static ability. Not a static ability, but like a activated ability. So if you have something like Pithing Needle on the battlefield, we're not playing one in this deck, but it's a 6 mana. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the Rod. The Rod of Ninrod, something like that. No, Staff and Nin. Is that what I said? Okay. Anyway, if you have a Staff and Nin on the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target any target. So if Staff and Nin's on the battlefield and then Norn comes back, they can ping it for 1 and kill Norin the Wary with a Staff of Nin. But that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, I apologize for whoever I'm playing against because this deck is fun and chaotic and probably going to piss you off. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into some gameplay. See you all there. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out the description below for more Magic the Gathering content. This was Jordan with Crocodile MTG, and we will see you next time.